So let's talk about the Unit 5 discussion board. The question is pretty straightforward on its surface. Was the United States justified in dropping bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki? And a lot goes into this question. I think growing up, the most traditional interpretation of this that many historians from the time period to now have advanced, it was justified. There were estimates early on that it would save as many as a million American lives, especially after the Battle of Okinawa, and projecting casualty numbers from that. Some people will criticize that number. There is evidence in primary sources from the time period that suggests that many estimates from different branches of the military or different political leaders were much lower than 1 million, but that was a figure that stood out and caught the attention of people in the papers and maybe made it a little bit easier to justify. We can look at all sorts of diverse viewpoints here. We have to consider civilian loss of life in Japan. The United States had firebombed the Japanese mainland many times, burning many buildings, especially in cities like Tokyo, before ever using this new, incredibly destructive technology of the atomic bomb on the cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So as these decision makers came together to think about this, a lot went into it. The people that developed the bomb, people like Oppenheimer, were very skeptical of the practical application and if it was morally justifiable to do so. There's lots of ethical or moral arguments that can be made against this and for this. The idea that when we're talking about loss of life, especially in the context of war, things can get pretty complex pretty fast. So I want us to sort through this and practice playing devil's advocate a little bit. So as you go to your second part, put your response together, do your research, have quality things to say. But then as you go to respond to your classmates, play devil's advocate a little bit. Think about taking that alternative view. Again, like we talked about in the other video, empathize. Think about how a reasonable person could have a different viewpoint from what you have. This is a skill that we all need to be practicing all the time here in the United States. It's great to think you're right all the time, but I don't know that anybody can be incredibly confident with that. So getting to know other positions, how people are constructing arguments, that's only going to help you refine how you make your own arguments and what you know to be true. So be respectful, put your best foot forward, do a little bit of research, and let's have a great discussion here in Unit 5. Thanks.